Hello and welcome back to Friday's Tyranny, played by TheHereticSpot. So, last time we just entered the camp because we promised the Archon of Secrets to have a little chat. So, let's see, I need to figure out my controls again. Here we go. And supposedly here is I saw it because on the map there's those little two rings. Ooh, what is that? Cloth tunic. Well, let's put that on you, right. Maybe. So, and every other point is Scarlet Fury camps or locations. I thought it would be persons, but persons of interest. No, that would be the star, actually. Persons of interest. That is not a person of interest. Ooh, and there's still those quakes. Huh. I wonder why is it called Seven Toes? Might it be because he has 7 toes? Let's find out. The Voices of Nerat. The voices wants to speak to you. No, the voice. Oh God, I can't read. The Voices wants to speak with you. Don't keep him waiting. Haha! Secrets. You didn't see that. Oh, look at... Oh. Ooh, what is that? Horde. And there's Voices of Nerat. Well, here's some stats, I say. The Voices of Nerat regarding you with a unreadable expression. The Fatebender approaches. We had nearly reached a private consensus about the nature of reality, but that can wait. Reality will stay put for now. Too long has passed since we encountered our dearest friend in Vengeance Well. As if proclaiming and resolving the same edict weren't impressive enough, you found the temerity to reject Graven Ash and support our right to conquer these lands. You deserve a just reward when this is over, but it's too early to congratulate ourselves while there's plenty of war still to fight. What do you need? We're dizzy with answers. Yeah, about that. Actually, was it the Archon of Secrets? Well, at least the guy who is telling us what to do. I think it was the Archon. No, it wasn't. That's the Archon. I don't know, but I will remember that. Told me that I should come here and spy on you because we might think of you as a traitor, you know. No, I won't tell him that. So what do we have here? Answers or questions? So what are your plans? I'm ready to talk strategy. Or I want to ask about your power. You are a remarkable person. Or would you tell me something about yourself? Or how do you manage an army as vast as the Scarlet Chorus? Or, well, that's an awful lot of ors. Tell me of the Scarlet Chorus tenets. Or, I'm curious about the Scarlet Chorus history. So, let's take Question 4. How do you manage an army as vast as the Scarlet Chorus? They manage themselves. That's what I actually thought. They manage themselves. They have all those little groups, and those little groups have like ringleaders or leaders, and those leaders are under another group, and so on and so forth. So it's like in a big company when you have a team and a team leader, and the team leaders have a department leader, and so on. That works well, actually. They manage themselves, of course. Men and women are grit rise in the ranks and become bosses. When they take too many wounds or their sword grows too heavy, another boss will claim their rightful place. Is he shrugging? Like, I don't know, they do whatever they do. Well, that's actually what he told me. All in our years, we've never granted a promotion, conscript and slave. In all our years, we've never granted a promotion. Conscripts and slaves are free to elevate their rank, or make up ranks as they go. The only condition is that they have the strength to defend the spot they carve out for themselves. Tell me of the Scarlet Chorus tenets. Tenets the first. Whatever you can claim through sheer force of will is yours, for the taking. That's a rule. Those are the rules. Those who think us chaotic should spend some time away from the farm and learn what it means to survive. That also means you can kill who you want. Kyros' peace extends to servants of the Empire, but these tiersmen haven't enjoyed the pleasure of our laws yet. Until they do, you can treat them like sport. And not even starky old Tunon will go offended. Tunon the Adjudicator. There we go. Things will get boring real fast when the war's over. So says the verse. Any other rules, if you must call them that, fall under the umbrella of that basic philosophy. Take what you want, but keep what you take. That is a good philosophy. So, I want to ask about your power, your remarkable I don't like that wording. I asked him 2 questions about the Scarlet Chorus so far, so that he doesn't get suspicious. I just go on. So, what's your plan? I'm ready to talk strategy. Of course. You have questions. We'd be disappointed if you didn't have any. Our first priority is to humiliate the piss-bucket Gravenash. But we'll have a better chance of it once every corner of the tiers is wearing red. Do you see our design, Fatebinder? Does our madness complement our method? We will invite every man, woman, or child who draws breath and occupies the fingernail of a peninsula to join the Scarlet Chorus. So, new questions. How do you expect to do that? Or, if you can't outfight the disfavored, out-recruit them. Oh no, that's actually, well, that was, I read it right, but not the pronunciation of the question. If you can't outfight them, you out-recruit them? Recruit them? That's the way how to say it. Gain average wrath. Say nothing. Oh. A conquest by invitation. How polite. How very polite. Don't you think everyone who was going to join you would have done so already? No. We saw that earlier. A conquest by invitation. How very polite. I want to gain favor. And Ebb doesn't like it. Oh, don't encourage him. He's already got his own small council of Sisyphans in his head. Yeah. Poor lady. Isn't it? Gravemash would slash and burn this whole continent. We must counter his wanton evil with acceptance and tolerance for these poor tearsmen. Conquest is a delicate matter. It needs feeding, watering, soft caresses, a lullaby before bed. We will invite the leader of the resistance to join us. If we have their leaders, the people will follow. You will bring them to us, yes? Chiefs and the assets of chiefdom. As for how you factor into these plans, that is in a part up to you. We have many ingots in the fire. It's more of a question of what piques your interest. The Black Grave is a beautiful pocket of disorder. An edict shreds the land to ribbons, and soldiers by the hundreds are led into the furnace of war. Angry sons of an old stalwart, dubbing themselves unbroken, clash spears with the disfavored. We can use the edict and the conflict to our benefit. They keep the disfavored occupied, and the tears within our grasp, while these idiots juggernauts bash each other into ruin. We can extract what we need. The daughter of Gravenash has been a prisoner of these stalwart wretches. Secure her for us, and fetch her to Cacophony straight away. Cacophony is the place. Inviting Gravenash progeny into the fold is an advantage we cannot ignore. Seek out also Jacked Remedy in Trapper's Junction. He has cornered a belligerent unit of Unbroken. Help him recruit their leaders, Matthias, into the fold, that he might help us reach the jewel of the realm, the great keep of Sentinel Stand. So, Unbroken, what are you? Unbroken. The Unbroken Legion was a proud and accomplished army of the realm of Stalwart. Citing their victories as evidence of skill. They prided themselves on never facing defeat while fighting on a home soil. After the Edict of Storms tore apart Stalwart and twisted into the Black Grave, barely a 20th of their unbroken former strength survived to continue the war. Right-click for details. Ha! Survived the... To continue the war against Kyros forces. So, a few more words. And what? The ground is shaking? Well, I don't know why, but it seems my ground is shaking. Probably some washing machine. Tunon's arcane smiths set up shop in the Lethians crossing, with simple ore dredged from the heart of Terratus. They can assemble wondrous craft of iron. Our intellect swells overfull with secrets, yet we are ignorant of the iron secret. Seek out the Forge-bound and their master, who even now makes the Lethians crossing. Have her sent to Cacophony. I will guarantee her protection and safeguard her knowledge. An artist such as herself needs to be shielded from the perils of war. According to the whispers of the spies, a greybeard by the name of Eldian may be able to tell you more. We are not, if not receptive to the wisdom of age. Yep, that is a washing machine. Now I hear it. Report back to us when you're finished. Our intelligence may be of use to you. So, what can you tell me about the Blade Grave? What can you tell me about the Lethians crossing? Well, let's start with the Blade Grave. And what is the Blade Grave? It's probably a place. The Blade Grave is the name given to the remains of the realm of Stalwart. After its ruination, when Kyros proclaimed the Edict of Storms upon the lands, the magical storms struck the disfavored and unbroken armies during the height of their engagement. Now most of what remains in the blighted landscape of discarded armor and weapons, and high winds of rust and the high winds and rust of human dust. Again, 3 more words with the right click. Well, Lethians Crossing. We should know the place because we actually had that in the introduction, and we set up a smith camp for the disfavored, an iron smith camp. I have to say, in the introduction, the disfavored were for me described as a more likable faction, but I realized that actually the Scarlet Chorus is the faction which for me feels right to support. So that we know Lethians Crossing. Built in the shadow of an old walls junction in the realm of Haven. Lethians Crossing is a growing trading settlement. The nearby rivers are rich in iron ore, though the locals lack the technology to smelt and forge the element. In the years following Kyros' conquest of the Tiers, the population of Lethians Crossing swelled with refugees, fleeing the destruction of their homelands. The presence of the Forge-bound mining the iron, along with the guards, makes this makeshift settlement a vital resource for Kyros' armies. That is true. What can you tell me about the Blade Grave? Before our conquest, it was the region of stalwart, warlike and fiercely independent in character. The region bloodlines ruled by their torrid and often inbred lines of succession. Of course, the Edict of Storms has thrown all of that to disorder. I wonder, did we declare the Edict of Storms? We might have. Who rules the area now? A complex question with no clear answer. The Unbroken Legion, a rebel group of veterans from the stalwart army, struggle to maintain hold by the force of arms. Behind walls of Sentinel stand, the last of the region's lives outer days, no doubt, thinking himself as strong and relevant as ever. Tell me about Graven Ash's daughter. As severe and uncompromising as her idiot father, we would liken her to a tower shield. We would liken her to a tower shield. Well, okay, we would liken her to a tower shield with a voice like a ram's horn warped out of tune. We met the girl but once, and we nearly came to blows. If war and the passage of years have softened her temper, then we should get along magnificently when you present her at Cacophony. About the Edict of Storms, good question actually. Swirling maelstroms now blast the lands and Sentinel stand. The fortified heart of the Blade Grave is both trapped and imprisoned by Kyros' edict. The cowardly regent who survived the war hides there to this day, protected and imprisoned by Kyros' anger. Only by piercing the unforging fabric of that storm could anyone reach its heart and drive a blade through its core. Kyros drafted the Edict of Storms to punish the defenders of Stalwart for hiding behind the walls of their keep. The wording of the edict specifies that the death of Stalwart ruling family will end the storm. To this day, the locals are welcome and encouraged to assassinate their former ruler. Ooh, so the edict is still in place. We could resolve a third edict. Yes! Let me ask you something else. What can you tell me about Lethians Crossing? This is some sort of joke? We'd know a great deal about Lethians Crossing if you had let us have stewardship of the settlement. Now look what you have done, giving Graven Ash free run of the place. We'll leave you to clean up this mess of your own creation. The Forgebound are the true gem of the crossing. They are keepers of the secret of iron, so a tight-lipped bunch by nature. Yeah, that question was rather stupid. Let me ask you something else. Must you bore us with your incessant ponderings? Go, speak with our lackey, Seven Toes. She can weather the relentless assault of your curiosity. She can weather the relentless assault of your curiosity. Yep, there we go. So we have still primary quests. Okay. Dissonance of War. Yeah. Hail, Fatebinder. And now I did again a male voice for her. But it's really hard to notice that this is a girl, actually. The Voices of Nerat ordered me to answer any of your pestering questions. So I guess that's what I'm here to do. She scoffs. Not what I'd call a lieutenant work, but I'm not here to question the voices. You're clearly going places in the world, 7. You should take pride in that. Verse looks the lieutenant up and down with an improving nod. She bows. 7 Toes bows. It feels like a century since we ran together in Old Azure. You and more hair. I had all the 10 toes and better balance to boot. Aha, so it is really because 7 toes. I always saw myself as more of a gang boss, but in the end I carved out this cozy little niche for myself. By the time this war's done, we'll be unrecognizable, either lining a mass grave or leading forces from the rear. So, what do you need from me? Actually, I don't need anything. I would just want to pester you. How do you know? Oh, how do you and Verse know each other? Well, let's have a little bit of your past. Why not? How do you and Verse know each other? She was my gang boss. Back when we were called the Spitted Darlings. Verse had just come off her other gang. The 7 Toes thinks to herself, the bonny Westrels, all of them mauled or eaten by beasts in Azure. Of course, you're right. I should think about making different female voices. Those weren't easy days. But damned if we didn't walk away with our lives and a few stories to our name. What do you think of the Voices of Nerat? He's the boss. He calls the shots, and I follow. I don't ask a lot of questions. She glances around, uncomfortable. I'll say this much. You don't want to insult him, especially when he's going on about his art. He takes that sort of thing personally. Not that you could really tell under the great bronze helmet of his. What's up there? People in the kitchen. Okay. Do you enjoy work in the Skull Chorus? I enjoy surviving. And right now, the chorus is the only way to do it. The disfavored don't allow foreigners into the Legion until the war's over and the tears under cures heal. It's red or dead. That's one way. I never suspected I would have a taste for the work until I got started at the front lines. Something about carving a path through your enemies and watching the army grow behind you is just satisfying. Makes me feel good to belong to something. Tell me about yourself. I started out like most Skullcraw's rats, conscripted off the farm and armed with a pitchfork. It didn't take me long to warm up to the idea of Kira's army. We had more freedom than the tiers ever allowed, and I've never been opposed to joining the winning side. I didn't want to see the whole war from the front lines, so the first order of business was to kill my gang boss and take his place. Easily done. He was a louse. I ran with at least half a dozen gangs since the start of the conquest, and it funneled me all the way to cacophony. It's not an easy life, but there's no lack of amusement to be had, and plenty of opportunities for advancements. If you're curious how I got this gig, you can check out the previous lieutenants over there. She sums over to a still figure impaled on a pike. Probably that one. On the left. Ah, yeah, you can see my mouse, okay. The voice is a sucker for ambition and clever solutions to a problem. I have questions about my first task. Do I? Go ahead. Can't have you doing the voice's bidding uninformed. He is not what you'd call a perfectionist, at least by our understanding of the word, but he likes to have his orders understood. Ah, okay. Lethians Crossing sounds like a fine prospect. Leaf.
You learn something every day.
So, you'll hit Lethians Crossing if you aim towards the Sunset Spire. Not even our dumbest gang could miss it. But you're already good at tracking down spires, aren't you? She winks. Careful of the disfavored out there. I'm sure they'll protect their iron with a mother's frenzy. Report back to Cacophony when you're done. Check in with the old man, Eldian. He's said to be a useful fellow. I wonder if I can make to both quests. Haha! I see. Levels rising. But I wanted to look at something. How well can I see how well she likes me or dislikes? Oh, here we can. App. Heart of the Storm. Combo ability. App imbues the Fatebender's weapon. Oh, that was fear. App was appalled by your demanding, demoneering ways. Woohoo! Ah, okay, we have bonus. Ah, so fear is something else than wrath. Venyan God. Full of wrath, unnerving presence. Nice. Oh, that would be so much better. I must have forgotten something, I guess. Nice. Entries. Okay-ish. Versus totally like, hey, you are the man. You need a reputation change of major strength to unlock this tier. You need a reputation change of major strength. Uh-huh. So we have favor and wrath. Favor and wrath. Favor and wrath. So we'll probably need to go over that. Oh yeah, level up. So she comes back to melee actually. So that means for me, I want her to be stronger with life. Save that, yes. So what else can we offer? Can you offer? You did a lot of work with bows actually, which is totally awesome. Requires 1 talent point spent. Mocking iron. First taunts a foe. We have that one. Killing spree. After a kill, Verse will strike twice with her attack for a short time. Fury rush. Verse moves quickly about the battlefield. Too quickly for enemies to engage her. Okay, has cooldown. And that one was actually pretty damn awesome with a bow. I guess... that sounds interesting as well. I have that one, I guess. This one requires at least 1 more point. Yep. Do that. Now comes me. I have 1 more point. And power 400. And I put more into this because I need more life. I want to be a better tank. There's still more I have to do. I have no idea where to stop and what stats would be even better in the way of being useful. But at least 15 here again, because on 15 I got for strength a bonus damage, and then we'll see. I don't need really accuracy. Well, armor deflection maybe. So we have so many things we can learn and do. That's cool. Shield mastery. Oh. Wow. I put all my points in here, I guess. Yep. Blade wall. Stance of guard. Stance of challenger. Taunt nearby enemies every few seconds while the stance is active. Heavy guard requires 2 talent points spent. While wearing only heavy armor, gain an additional bonus on armor. Not bad. Shield bash. Don't I have? Oh, yeah, there. Shield slam. Aha. An empowered version of the... Okay. Iron Lighters Air requires 2 talent points. Temporarily remove all recovery penalties. Uh-huh. What does Blade Wall do? Allows an additional enemy to be engaged at one point and grants a bonus to damage. I will go for passives for now. Here we go. I became stronger. And again. So, we have spoken with everyone we need to speak to. And now we'll go to one of the places. Oh, I should probably go down here because there's a world map. Oh, before we do that, let's see. We have Lethians crossing. Evidence of Gravenage. Evidence against Voices of Nerat. The Voices wanted the Forge Pound makers. All uncovered evidence will be listed here. The favored were infactual at getting cairn. The Arcane of Stone to follow orders. So I can get more information. The Voices of Nerat unleash the Archon Siren, who sowed chaos even enthralled in disfavored soldiers. During the conquest, the Skull Chorus sought to conscript new recruits from the Forgebound, who were under Tunan's protection. Well, that's not so nice. Let's see where we actually... Ah, yes, the good mountain spire. Vengeance well. Oh, I'm here. I haven't reached those spires yet. Here we have Scholar Chorus land. Same as here. And, since I choose the Sunset Spire first, well, Lethians Crossing, I will only be able to go there, I think. Location unreachable. This area is currently inaccessible. Same here. Yep. So, how about we go to Lethians Crossing? Well, that's a good idea. I thought to myself, yes. So, let's do this. Lethians Crossing. I think I already read that. I'm sorry. Oh, but not that part. In the year 429, as governor of Lethians Crossing in Kyr's name, you granted control of the settlement to the disfavored. Yes, I will travel 5 days and 7 hours to complete my journey from Cacophony to Lethians Crossing. I could have gone to the mountains by before that. Oh, ambush! A group of mercenaries and members of the Bronze Brotherhood are blocking the road to Lethians Crossing. I wonder, can I steer fear in their hearts? Oh, I wish.
Moving cautiously.
Yes. Move cautiously. What do we have here? A radar. But I think we can't. No, we can't get up there. At the moment I just see one guy who interrupts my journey. Uh-huh. You must be joking, Atoll. I will pay no such thing. I demand to be blah blah blah. Sorry, no one passes through without paying. So, actually the raiders are not attacking. Oh boy. A bruiser will be raider. And another raider. That is one with a name. It will be. A tall woman stands here, surveying the area from a small overlook. She glances at you and immediately goes back to watching the surroundings. Welcome to Ironhall Trail, Fatebinder of Tunon. She salutes you. My name is Welby, first axe of the Bronze Brotherhood, though I am not sure that title matters anymore. She pauses to gather her thoughts, then opens her mouth to continue. Instead, she exhales slowly as she shakes her head. Never mind. I needn't be burdened with my problems. While I appreciate you coming to me before speaking to Raytamon, you will need to be careful. He has of late been acting out of sorts, and any perceived slight can become a problem. For the one who offends him, choose your words with him carefully. What can I help you with? How could talking to you offend Raytamon? You choose to speak to the first axe before speaking to the actual first brother, the bodyguard before the leader. How could this mean anything but collusion and treason? I know, I speak out of turn, but I only wish to warn you. Tread lightly around Raytamon. What does the first axe mean? What does it mean to be first axe? She sighs. I wish I knew, Fatebanner. The first axe protects and consoles the first brother. I'm supposed to be Raytamon's advisor, confidant, and guard. Lately his behavior has become erratic, his acting paranoid, manic, and distrustful. My duty as first axe is to protect the first brother, but I'm also sworn to protect the Brotherhood, and if that means the removal of Raytamon, so be it. He has so many supporters in Lethians Crossing right now to speak out against him. What do you think has happened to Raytamon now? How would you run the Brotherhood? I wouldn't waste time and resources on petty vendettas. That much I can tell you. I like battle and I like rings. And with the Brotherhood, we used to get both regularly. Now, all we have is fear, suspicions, and blood. I wanted the disciplined regiment back, and I intend to have it. Sounds to me like you're simple a coward. If you're something, you take it. Raytamon has the right idea. So what was the other sentence? True. Acting like a child when you don't get what you want is not the behavior of a leader. Well, but unfortunately, I always see what I'm gaining with an answer. I probably should see if in the next game if I can hide that option, because this is... I will take the second option because I gained favor. I like favor. I think favor is a better thing than wrath. Well, I probably wouldn't have taken the first one because it doesn't sound courtly to me. Except in this case, the child is in control of an army capable of laying waste to his home. Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood. Well, we laughed a little. We are mercenaries, plain and simple. I'm not going to pretend like it's anything more. While it's true we have in recent years been a little more than stationary than your typical crew, it doesn't change the fact that our services can be purchased if the price is right. Ah, yeah, true. We both know full well that the rings that the Voices gave us were the only thing we brought our... the Voices gave us were the only thing that bought our allegiance to Kyros. When the Overlord turned an eye to the crossing, even if our thanks for helping was to be thrown from our homes. She contemplates you for a moment. Not that I hold any ill will toward you for it. Decisions have to be made, and there's always someone who must pay the price. I just hope you realize some people don't like being asked to pay. Yeah, true. I am a bad person. Raytamon will try to sell you on our long and noble traditions, like we are some kind of altruistic saints who can do no wrong. But that story is as old and smelly as Grandma's beastman's tail hairs. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to take a job that doesn't seem right to me, but a ring is a ring, and I will go where the money leads me. One point Raytamon and I will agree on is this. We did a job for Kyros, but we were not treated fairly. The Brotherhood is strong and we have the numbers. We will fight to the last man. I just don't agree with Raytamon's methods. That's all for now. Will be nuts. By your leave, Fatebinder, and be careful. Why do I start to like the character? I see some dead people. Ah, Raytamon. A striking man with a shock of bright blonde hair stands here, observing some men searching bodies of slain disfavored soldiers. He watches you approach, his angular features putting into a look of disdain. And here's the Fate Binder. He doesn't mask the displeasure in his voice. I knew we'd see you. I was just wondering when. You gain wrath. Oh, ha 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 ha. Just by being here, huh? One trip to Lethians Crossing wasn't enough, Governor. He doesn't even mask the contempt in his voice. You had to return where no one asked you to come. Throwing me out of my home wasn't sufficient. Are you here to disrupt my life some more? He looks at his men who stopped to watch stop the conversation. You aren't done. He flicks his hand and then at them, and they return to their searching. It doesn't really matter why you're here. I don't care. I have more important things to worry about. In case you've forgotten me already, my name is Raytamon. I'm the first brother, leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. Speaking of which, what did Welby have to say? He looks north, where Welby stands watching you both intently. Has she already started filling your mind with lies about me? She and I are going to have a chat soon. I can't have my first ex countermanding me. Countermanding? Oh, that's an interesting word. Countermanding me at every turn. I know she wants my position. Watch yourself while you are a guest in my land. If you have come to stir up more trouble, we are well equipped and will not back down in the defense of what is rightfully ours. He sweeps his arms in front of him, gesturing to the surrounding countryside. Welby and I might not always agree, but that is one point we see eye to eye on. If you step out of line, we will both correct you. His eyes narrow and leans toward you. You are not welcome here. Now, tell me what you want or leave. Oh, Jeebus. You do well to watch your tone when speaking to a Fate Binder. Raytamon laughs hollowly. I care not about Kiro's forces. I've already reaped the rewards of my loyalty, and I will not make the mistake again. You have taken my home, but I will have it back. I won't cower when you raise your voice against me, lapdog. So what do we do? We are to be justice. And since we shall display justice, well, I would like to attack him, but I won't. That would be most pleasing to attack him, but I won't do that. Why is Lethians Crossing so important to the Brotherhood? Well, it's their home. What is so important about these bodies? They are some of Kiro's army who wandered too far from Lethians Crossing. He spits on the closest body and makes an obscene gesture at it. I will sleep well when they are all dead and in the ground. The only place they're worthy to be. But if they chose to break themselves up like this, it will only make it easier for us when the Brotherhood make our claim to what rightfully is ours. How do you plan to take Lethians crossing? Raytamon pulls his head back and looks at you. Raytamon pulls his head back and looks at you, askance. Why would you ask this? His voice drops to a whisper. Is Welby planning to undermine my strategy? Tell me about Welby. He shoots a look to the north. I had such high hopes for her as my first ex. The continued success of the Brotherhood should be the single most important goal for anyone who is a member. She seems to have forgotten her place. She is not the head of the band. I am. If she doesn't stop overreaching, I will have to replace her with someone who knows how to obey. We'll speak again soon. I certainly hope that isn't the case. Oh, we have another conversation up here. Probably the guard.
Sorry, can't.
Oh no. There's...
Sorry, can't.
A small figure stands before some armor-clad soldiers. His arms move wildly as he gestures in frustration, yelling at the man directly in front of him. Absolutely not! I've come through Ironhold Trail more times than I can remember. No one ever asked for a toll before, and I won't be paying any. No, and I won't be paying one now. Asta. He is a named character. He notices you standing nearby and turns to speak. Fatebinder! Surely you, of all people, can help me. My name is Asta, and I must get to Lethians Crossing. I have goods to deliver. Tell this man I will not be paying a toll to him or anyone, and he is to let me through. He folds his arms over his chest and nods with a pronounced finality. Greetings, Fatebinder. I'm sorry you have been drawn into this. What you've stumbled into here is merely a conflict of the changing times. I am Will, of the Bronze Brotherhood. Ironhold Trail is under our protection, and anyone passing through must obey our rules. If this gentleman would like a passage through our land, a simple donation is required. He holds out his hand. These funds help our cause and keep Ironhold a safe place for all travelers. Clearly you both can see the value to that. Aster speaks, his arm swinging about again, and emphasizing his word. And who exactly is keeping it safe? You standing there with your weapons at the ready against me? His arms drop and he turns to you again. Sorry. I am not but a traveling merchant. I have no money to spare, and I certainly pose no threat to anyone. Keep this area safe indeed. He points at Will. You are the only threat here. Fatebinder, please, talk some sense into this man. 50 rings. I don't know how much I have. So, yeah. Ha ha ha. We have the choices of pay 50 rings toll for Aster. Here's a payment for the merchant to pass unharmed. Then I gain some favor with Lethians crossing. Or we address Will, the guard. This man will not be paying a toll today. Call your guards off and allow us passage immediately. We'll give minor favor. Address Aster. Just because you passed through before means nothing. Pay the toll now or help. Pay the toll now or head back. You try my patience. That gives us minor wrath. Or the last choice. This matter is a waste of time. You're on your own, merchant. He asked for a rule, that merchant, but this is exactly not. Is it? Oh my god, my tongue is falling out. So is it something? Depending on the law, because this is our land actually, but it's held by the favored, and the Bronze Brotherhood is occupying that bridge. So, that is a good question. I like mercenary bands, actually. I think I will pay the toll for Aster. Thank you, Fatebinder. You've done a great deal of good today. Aster bows dramatically. He turns back to the soldier. And you, brute, move aside and let me pass. Will makes an exaggerated flourish and moves out of Aster's way. But of course. He raises an enormous hammer and stops Aster, pressing it against his chest. Though, merchant, do be sure to have some rings of your own for your own trip back. I doubt your friend here will be around to pay your way through these lands twice. He smiles, moves his hammer and gestures for Aster to continue. There we go. Will returns to his position and looks you over. His former genial mood is gone. So, a Fatebinder in our little corner of the world. Who'd have ever thought this would happen? He spits between his feet, then crushes it into... What? He spits between his feet, then crushes into the dirt with his boot. While I appreciate your help dealing with that merchant, I'm afraid I can't let you pass until you've spoken with our leader, Raytamon, personally. I thought he was crazy saying you'd be visiting Lethians Crossing. Looks like I owe him a few rings. He shakes the pouch around his neck, making the rings inside jingle melodically. Not that there's a shortage of those out here. What can this humble servant of the Brotherhood do for you, Fatebinder? And don't ask me to let you through, because that isn't happening. Oh, Verse has a loyalty answer. Some made the mistake of giving this little man too much power, and he's about to discover what happens when you stand in my way. If you think you can get him to move, do it. With pleasure. Hey, shitmeat. Do you plan on moving your ass this century, or do we have to stand here jawing like a bunch of greybeards? We are on a mission, and staring at your ugly muck and catching up on the past won't get it done any faster. Are you going to move on, or do I need to start cutting? Because I'm partial to either option. Will, the mercenary mouth hangs open in disbelief. He swallows and attempts to gather his pride. I would help you, but my boss told me to guard this bridge. No one gets by without Raytamon's permission. Kyros gives me strength. You deserve this far more than I'm going to enjoy. Verse swings her first fist and lands a punch with a meaty whack, snapping the back of the merchant's head. What? Again, Verse swings her fist and lands a punch with a meaty whack, snapping back. So it just is pushed back like in the movies. Will robs the cheek. Hold on! Ah! Damn it, I pressed spacebar. That was not what I wanted. Hold on, I'm just doing my job. I apologize if I offended. Raytamon will have my head if I let you through. There's nothing I can do about it.
On it.
Okay, Raytamon. Will you let me pass, or do I have to do something about it? Well, we'll find that out in the next episode, won't we? So, thank you for giving me time on this Friday's episode of Tyranny, and I wish you well, and till next time, till you hear my crappy voice acting and enjoy the story of Tyranny on Friday. Till then, goodbye and good night.